Our response that was. That's it. Shall we try again? Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Welcome on board the City Alpha. As you can see, we've just left the pier. I'm obliged to give you a safety announcement. This is nothing to alarm you by, but just to let you know the vessel you have boarded on has got enough life-saving equipment for everybody on board today. Now this includes life jackets, life rafts, which are clearly marked with the green and white signs around the vessel. In the unlikely event of emergency happening twice in one day, please remain seated and take any instruction given to you by a member of crew. Toilets are situated downstairs on the lower deck, where we also have a coffee bar downstairs serving light snacks and refreshments, where also you can pick up the automatic guide if you can't understand what I'm saying. Now, a couple of people was asked if we do guides on these boats. Well, we're not guides or commentators, we are the crew, we're here for your safety first. But my name's Dean, I'm one of the captains on board today, and I had to serve a 5.5-year apprentice to work the Thames, and I also had to get a local knowledge endorsement stamped on my licence. Now we can do this one of two ways, ladies and gentlemen. We can either do it now on the way down to Tower, or we can do it on the way back from Tower. So all those who would like me to do a guide now down to Tower, say aye, aye, or one on the way back when we get to Tower. Take the first one then, eh? Okay. Okay, over here to the right hand side, we got the London Eye. The London Eye stands 135 metres tall. It's got 32 capsules on it, one for each borough of London. And the new craze here in London at the moment is that you can actually get married on the London Eye. Now what happens is this: you, your partner, the vicar, plus 22 guests get on at the bottom. You say all your vows on the way to the top, and when you get to the top, they stop the London Eye. You say I do, you kiss the bride, and trust me, I really do know this from my own experience in life. It's all downhill from up there. Over here, to the left-hand side, the white building with the green roof with all the flags on it is our Ministry Defence building here in the UK. It's also got the nickname the Iceberg because it's got 16 floors beneath the ground as well. But below that as well, it's also got a bunker. And from that bunker, it's got tunnels leading to Buckingham Palace, Downing Street, Houses of Parliament, MI6 and MI5. But when leaving the boat, don't tell anybody, because it's supposed to be a top secret. And only the elite in this country are supposed to know about the big bunker underneath that building over there. The Gothic looking building next door to it, it's called Whitehall Court Mansions. It's a part of the All-Stars 5-star hotel and more luxury unaffordable apartments. But behind this building during the Second World War, this is where Winston Churchill's War Office was. And there's actually a museum behind that building to that effect, but I don't think it's going to be open today for some reason. Over here they call this the South Bank. If you fancy having a walk later on, they call this the South Bank, and this is the best side of the river to walk down. You can actually walk all the way down to Tower Bridge down this footpath here. And on the way you've got the Tate Gallery, the pirate ships, loads of entertainment along this side. You've got the theatre. Coming over here to the left hand side, this black and white ship is now called the Yacht Temple, and it's another 5-star restaurant here on the River Thames. But back in the day, this vessel was called St Catherine's of London, and it was known as the Royal Barge. Any time the royal family wanted to use the River Thames, this was the barge they would have used right up to 1970, and it was a steamboat as well. But behind that boat, the white building with the yellow funnel, the white boat with the yellow funnel is called the Wellington, and it was given to us by the New Zealand government, and is now a drinking livery for retired skippers who've been to sea for more than 25 years. But look on the yellow funnel there, you can see the royal coats of arms, and our Queen's husband, Prince Philip, is the headmaster of this vessel. Stand on the left hand side for a moment, look along the river wall, and you can see these green lions' heads with rings in their mouths. Now you might have thought these were mooring rings, but they're not. What it was an early flood warning back in the day. The police were told to come down to the river at high water, look over the wall, and if the lions' heads were drinking, London was sinking. So what the police would do then, they would get on this little blue phone box over here beside the red phone box, and they would phone all the underground stations along the Victoria Embankment, and they would close them down in fear they would be flooded. Nowadays we got the Thames barrier for this, but there is a more modern day sound if you'd like to hear it. Would you like to hear it? Yeah? Well, if the lion's heads are ducked, then London is well and truly flooded. It doesn't rhyme so well, does it? Look over here, you might recognise this beach, look. It was used in the last Baywoods film. On a day like today, there's two grown people there building sandcastles. The red brick building over here with the Oxo Tower on top of it used to be called Stanford Wharf, a cold meat warehouse and where they used to make the Oxo gravy. Now it's luxury unaffordable apartments. But the restaurant on top is called RV Nichols, where one shot of rum up there could cost you £160. Now this restaurant comes in the top 10 restaurants here in London, and they do say, ladies and gentlemen, fish and chips in that restaurant up there will cost you £75 per person. And that is probably why there's not one person in that restaurant right now. If you do want to get a photograph of St Paul's Cathedral, now's the time to do it. This is the best view of St Paul's Cathedral you're going to get from the river. But I will come back to St Paul's in a little while. The white building over here though on the left hand side with the green roof and the black turret is Old London School for Boys. This is where two of our Prime Ministers went to school. Winston Churchill was one of them, but he got thrown out of this school for being a naughty boy in the classroom and ended up going to a school in Harrow. Lord Asquith was the other Prime Minister, but if you look in between the archway windows, you can see four more scholars. From left to right, William Shakespeare, Francis Bacon and John Milton. The one on the right there with the ball in his right knee is that famous player, David Beckham. Well, tell a lie. If anybody's heard David Beckham speak, they'd realise that he didn't go to school, and of course that is Isaac Newton on the end there. The next set of bridges we're going under are called Blackfriars. Now these are the lowest bridges that we will go under today, and legend says they are the most romantic. Legend says if you kiss the one you love, as you go beneath these bridges, you will get years and years of happiness. Don't be shy, let yourselves go. Any single ladies, hello. Any single gentlemen, hello Ray. Alright Ray? Ray, are you alright mate? And if you're not with the one you love, just lean over and kiss your husband or your wife. Because apparently that works in the same way as well. How's everyone doing, folks? Everybody okay? Should I carry on or shut up? Okay, let's go back to St Paul's Cathedral then. St Paul's Cathedral stands 365 feet tall. Look at the gold cross on the top, come down to the top of the dome, and you can see there's a viewing gallery up there. Well, ladies and gentlemen, it's over 500 steps up to that viewing gallery, and Sir Christopher Wren was brought back into London to rebuild 89 churches after the Great Fire of London. This one was his masterpiece, and it took him 35 years to build. And that is why he's buried in the crypt below, along with the Duke of Wellington and Admiral Lord Nelson. Does anybody like Harry Potter? I don't, I think he's really horrible. But the red brick building over here is New London School for Boys. This is where Daniel Radcliffe went to school, probably better known as Harry Potter. But ladies and gentlemen, this school will cost you £55,000 per year, per child, to go to that school. All right, then? But ladies and gentlemen, Daniel Radcliffe is the only one I know who's actually got his money back. So it's not a very good school either, is it, either? But over here, look, the brown building with the tall chimney used to be Bankside Power Station, and now it's home to that modern art gallery called the Tate Gallery. And if you lot know anything about modern art, you'll understand exactly why it's free to go in that big building over there. Let me tell you, inside that building there's a light bulb that goes off and on, a burnt out car, an half-eaten curry, and a teenager's bed that's not been made for 3 months, and they call that modern art. The white building over here with a thatched roof, Shakespeare's Globe Theatre, the replica. This is the only building in central London today to have a thatched roof because of the Great Fire of London in 1666. A famous American actor, he wanted to put this replica back into London, and his name was Samuel Wanamaker. But it took Sam 20 years to get permission to put a thatched roof building back into London. You can see live shows here from March till September, and they will only cost you £5 for a 2-hour Shakespeare play. In front of the boat on the right hand side, the tallest building in Western Europe, the Shard of Glass. It stands 1,017 feet tall. It's got casinos in the basement, then shops, then offices, and then a 6-star hotel. But on the 72nd floor, she's got a viewing gallery up there, which will cost you £40 to go up there today. And the lift only takes 90 seconds to get up there. But above that are all the penthouse apartments. There's Father Christmas over there, look. All the penthouse apartments up there, and a designer, Renzo Piano, an Italian designer. Now he was supposed to be paid £1 million for this design, and he said, no, I don't want that £1 million. What I want is one of the penthouses at the top of the building, which he got. But listen to this. Last month he sold it to will.i.am, the musician, for £29 million. Now you've got to agree with me, that's not bad for a drawing of a triangle, is it? Southern Road Bridge, we just gone underneath. We talked about the replica Globe Theatre. The original one sat here, but if you look in the far corner here, there's a pub here called the Anchor at Bankside. Last year, this pub would have been on this site 400 years. This is where William Shakespeare used to use the rooms upstairs as his changing room. Samuel Pepys has also mentioned this pub in his diaries when he was writing about the Great Fire of London on this side that lasted for about 5 days. There's not much to say about Cannon Street Railway Bridge, apart from it stops the trains from falling in the water. But see over there where it says Banker? On the other side of this bridge, when we go through the bridge, look back over your left-hand shoulder and you'll see a row of clear windows. Some days we see some semi-naked people. This is one of those luxury 5-star spa places. But what the designer's done, ladies and gentlemen, they put the one-way glass in the wrong way round. So look, that means that we can see in, they can't see out, and some days are definitely better than others. Let me tell you. Has anybody on the boat seen Pirates of the Caribbean? Yeah? Well, have a look at this pirate ship over here on the right-hand side, sticking out between the two buildings. It's got nothing to do with the Pirates of the Caribbean whatsoever, though. I just think that's a really good film. True, because this is bridge number 5, and the one before this was sinking into the mud. Since you've been in London, has anybody been up the Sky Garden? No? You have been up there? Good? Free? It's free, isn't it? Over here, look, the white building with the white crane on top of it, it's called 21 Fenchurch Street. And on the roof, it's got the biggest roof garden in Western Europe. And yes, it is free to go up there. The only problem is, ladies and gentlemen, you will need to go onto the internet, go to Sky Garden London and book your place up there. It's well worth a visit and it is definitely free to go up there. It probably is not going to be open today. Please don't worry about taking photographs of Tower Bridge. We're going to take the boat right down to Tower Bridge so everyone can get nice photographs of Tower Bridge. And if you can't understand me, just carry on doing what you're doing. Because you're going to miss out over here. If you have got a camera, please make sure you take a photograph of the blue shiny building. This is a very, very important building here in London. It's actually the headquarters and the training ground for the window cleaning company here in London. And once they pass out this side, they come over this side and clean the 14,000 pieces of glass in the Shard of Glass. The yellow brick building over here is Old Billingsgate Fish Market. There's been a fish market on this site for over 800 years. But today, the only fish in this building are the gold ones that you can see on the roof. Billingsgate Fish Market has now moved to Canary Wharf for bigger premises. The white building over here with the 6 black chimneys along the roof is called Waterguard House, home to our customs and excise here in the UK. All the contraband that comes into this country, like cigarettes, tobacco, alcohol and drugs, are all stored in the basement here, and then once a month they're supposed to incinerate it. But have a look at the incinerator chimneys along the roof there, they look brand new, don't they? Well, I've worked the river for 15 years and I've never seen any smoke come out of them chimneys whatsoever, but I have heard the Christmas parties are quite phenomenal. The lights are on, it looks like there might be going one on today as well. But look over here on the right hand side, you'll have to look very carefully and very closely because you might miss her because she's under camouflage. The HMS Belfast. She was built in the Harlow and Wall shipyard, the same shipyard as the ill-fated Titanic. She's got 9 decks to explore down from the engine room right up to the wheel box. She last fired her guns in anger in the Korean War in 1951. She also fired her guns on the D-Day landing, but back in 1939, when this vessel was launched, she weighed 11,000 tonnes and could cut through the water at about 35 knots. This weird shaped looking building over here is our Mayor of London's new offices. When they was building this building, they spent £50 million on this building, and then they also put another £2 million aside to rename this building in a competition. Can anyone tell me the name from the competition that they named this building? I remember it cost us £2 million. Well, it's the same as the old one, County Hall. Fantastic, isn't it? Before we go through Tower Bridge, we're going to take you through Tower Bridge as well. But before we go, look over here, look, we've got the Tower of London. William the Conqueror, he started building this castle in 1078. The oldest part of this castle is the bit in the middle there with the 4 turrets. And this is where our Queen keeps all her jewellery. But have a look along the river wall there, look, you can see the words, enter to Traitor's Gate. This was the first one-way street here in London. Once you went up it, you never came back down. This is where they would have chopped your heads off. And if that wasn't bad enough, they then would have stuck your head on a wooden spike, dipped it in tar and stuck it on the old wooden London Bridge for everyone to see. But a lot of people say to us, where's the bloody tower? Well, you can't see the bloody tower from the river because the bloody trees are in the bloody way. Just look up there, ladies and gentlemen, on the walkway, so they've got a glass floor up there, look. Tower Bridge was opened in 1894. The bascles in the middle, the bits that lift up, weigh 1,000 tonnes each and can be lifted in 90 seconds at a 90-degree angle. There is an exhibition going on here at the moment. You can walk up this left-hand tower here, walk across the old Victoria walkway to the top there, and they will only charge you £10 for this pleasure. But on the way up, they will tell you loads of true stories about Tower Bridge. And I'm going to tell you one true story about Tower Bridge, and believe it or not, it is a true story. A guy called Albert Gunter was driving his number 78 bus across the bridge in December 1953 when he missed the red light because it was foggy. He drove straight onto the bascles as they started to rise. Well, Albert never backed off like a normal bus driver would do. What Albert done, he put metal to metal and he jumped about a 2-foot gap with all these passengers on board. Now you would have thought Albert would have got the sack for this, but he didn't. He got a £10 bonus in his wages at the end of the week, which I think he probably needed for his dry cleaning bill. So we're going to turn the boat back round now, folks. We're going to start making our way back up to Westminster. I'm going to leave you in peace until we get back up there. So please just sit back, kick your shoes and socks off and enjoy the trip back up to Westminster. Thank you very much.